Buy the new Toyota Tacoma or keep the old one? It's a conundrum. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Robmotive. So that's right, I've tried to make a decision. I've made a decision, actually, and it has to do with buying the new Toyota Tacoma, and I'm talking about the next generation, the fourth generation, when it becomes available, probably in 2024, probably released or at least announced in 2023 as a 2024. That's what I'm thinking. But my initial plan was to go ahead and probably trade in my current third gen. It's a 2021 Toyota Tacoma SR5. Done some mods and things to it. If you watch the channel, then you know I've done several things to it. But I've been trying to decide, should I keep that one or trade it off and buy the new one? And I gotta admit, I was pretty set on buying the new one. I thought about keeping the old one, but really, I don't have the space, number one. And number two, I don't really want two Toyota Tacomas sitting around. I only need one. I mean, how many vehicles can a person drive, right? So I've made the decision that when the new one comes out, I am not going to run out right away and put money down and buy it, because I'm assuming you'd probably have to put a deposit down for it. It's probably going to be wildly popular, is my guess, especially if Toyota gets the mileage and the power and all that stuff right and comes out with a not too drastic change as far as design goes, but maybe something similar looking to the electric white Tacoma that we've seen floating around out there on the web. So why? What has changed my mind? Because I have changed my mind. There's a few things, actually. Number one, as a YouTuber, I do mods and things. It's what I like to do. It's really why I have this channel. I like to do mods and change things, personalize it, make it my own. And of course, when the redesigned new Tacoma comes out, there aren't going to be many mods and things to do. I mean, you're going to have a few aesthetic type things, you know, maybe the sticker decals on the back and other things like that, but nothing any more complicated for a while. And that's because it takes the aftermarket vendors some period of time to actually put their hands on a new one and design parts and things that fit for it. So there wouldn't be a lot of things for me to do. It would be like going out and buying a TRD Tacoma, a Pro, something that's basically already finished. I mean, if I had a TRD Pro Toyota Tacoma, what would I do? You know, I'd basically be ripping off things that it came with and putting different things on. Not something that I'm really interested in doing. I have figured out, it only took me like 4 years, that I'm better off to buy the lower trim levels and then make them what I want. That's a more financially sound way to do it, I guess. It just doesn't make sense to buy finished trucks, in essence, and then pay for parts that I'm going to take off and put different things on. In addition to that, it's a first-year model. Now, while it might make interesting content, I suppose, if I got it and things went wrong, because, you know, everybody loves the negative, it's not something that I really want to deal with, especially if my truck is going to be sitting in the shop getting fixed. It's kind of difficult, as you can see, to make videos about Toyota Tacomas if you don't have one. I miss mine, by the way. I'm going to be back to it pretty soon. Now, that means that I can let loose. You know, I've kind of been holding back a little bit. Not a whole lot, but as far as anything that really structurally changes the truck, you know, like cutting things or taking panels off or stuff like that. And I'm really referring kind of to the bumper. You know, I've been going back and forth on changing the bumper on the front of the truck because there's a lot of cool stuff out there. And I think it really improves the look of the truck and the functionality as far as a winch goes or lighting and those kind of things, if those are the kind of things that you need, particularly the winch. You know, if you're a big time off-roader and you're going on courses, maybe not even courses, maybe more remote areas where you can get stuck, it's always good to have a winch, I think, on the front so that you can pull yourself out if you need to. You know, wrap that cable around a tree and give yourself a little bit of assistance while you're trying to get out of a sticky situation. But I've held back a little bit in doing those kind of things because I thought, it could devalue the truck as far as a trade-in scenario goes if I chop things up or put different things on. Because the golden rule in trading off any Toyota Tacoma is that you keep it as stock as possible, because that's when it's going to be worth the most money to a dealership. Now, if you're selling it third party, that's a different story, but you have to find that one buyer that really likes what you've done. So you even have to be kind of careful when you're doing that. We all have our preferences and things. You can certainly see that by the comments on this channel. Not everybody likes everything. I see that when I get comments about my own truck. Hey, I don't like that. Why did you do that? I would have done it this way. That's just proof that it kind of narrows the field, if you will, when you're trying to sell your truck third party. Not to mention, I hate messing with third-party sales, people that don't show up, people that try to lowball you. You got to let somebody else drive your truck around. I just don't dig doing that. So I do prefer to trade it into the dealership. But since I've made this decision that I'm going to keep the truck that I have, at least for a little while, undoubtedly there will be a fourth generation Tacoma coming to this channel, that's for sure. But I might wait maybe a year or two beyond release so that I can do more with the truck that I have. I just think from a content standpoint, if I can let loose, cut the cord, do whatever I want, there's a lot more that I can do with the current truck that I have. And that's what I'm gonna do. Now, I said I've been looking at bumpers. I have. I kind of go back and forth on what I want to do with that. You have the Highline bumper, I think they call it. And that's basically the bumper that fits on that kind of gray piece that's in the front of the truck. You rip that off, you stick that bumper on, it's got a tubular bar on it. You can put a winch in it if you want. There's a spot for fog lights and stuff. I really dig that one. I really do like it. But on the flip side, I also like some of the other ones that I've seen, kind of the full bumper that in essence requires a lot of cutting and replaces the whole front lower part of the truck, the whole bumper that came with the truck. Some of those are pretty slick too. So I'm kind of trying to decide which way I want to go. Right now, I'm leaning towards the Highline bumper. And I think I might go that way, but I'm not exactly sure yet. Now, the other thing that I'm looking at, I mentioned this, I think, in a video the other day, is the rear bumper. Now, the rear bumper, that doesn't really require any kind of cutting or anything. You just rip off what's there and put something else that's on. If only it were quite that simple, but simpler than the front. You don't have the TSS system to mess with. I don't have the sensors and things on the back, so it'd be easier to do. But I do want something that kind of ties everything together, some sort of a tubular bumper, if you will. Seems kind of difficult to find those right now, and they are hugely expensive compared to the front bumpers. I don't know why. I think it's because there are just fewer of them that are sold, so fewer of them are produced, and that raises the price up. We shall see. I don't know. So anyway, to answer the question, to buy the new Toyota Tacoma or hold on to the old one, for me, I'm going to hold on to the old one and I'm going to let loose. I'm going to do all kinds of things to that I probably, I wouldn't have done if I was going to trade the truck off in the next year or two. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know if you have this same conundrum. Are you trying to decide, should you hold on to the current Tacoma that you have, or maybe trade it off just as soon as the new one is available? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Robmotive JT, all about Jeep Gladiators, and Robmotive MT, all about compact trucks. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.